Hello, my name is Soumya Sekhar Das. I'm a partner solutions architect in AWS, specialist on SAP. And as a PSA, I work closely with the North America SI and ISV partners who host, implement, migrate, optimize, and run customers' SAP workloads on AWS. My primary goal is to make my partners and the end customers successful in their respective business segments. Today, I welcome you to an overview session on migrating SAP workloads to SUSE on AWS. This is the sweetest mathematical equation I have ever seen in my life. And AWS, SAP, and SUSE, they solved together long back. AWS and SAP have a very strong partnership and history of collaboration and rapid innovation. We all know that AWS has the longest experience of running SAP solutions on the cloud. This 13 plus years relationship is a partnership of collaboration and innovation to enable SAP customers to accelerate their digital transformations. The journey started since 2008 when SAP has been an AWS customer, and AWS has been SAP certified and supported since early 2011. The bond between AWS and SUSE that is getting stronger and stronger for the last 11 years. Also, you need to know that SUSE is SAP's partner for the last 20 years, and Amazon EC2 instance that was first certified by SAP in 2012 to run SAP production workloads on SUSE Linux. AWS is a platform of choice and innovation for SAP customers. Whether you are looking to lift and shift your SAP ECC, moving to SAP HANA while staying on ECC, or migrating to SAP S4 HANA, or you want to innovate and transform your SAP ECC applications or SAP ERP applications with AWS services, we can help you to get more value out of your SAP investments. So let's start from the bottom left, which is where most of our SAP customers they find themselves today. Lift and shift. For many customers, bringing their existing ECC applications to AWS as is the best starting point, as it allows you to realize rapid time to value while minimizing your operational disruption, and you only pay for what you use. Migrate to suite on HANA. Some customers they prefer to stay on ECC but move from any DB to SAP HANA as part of this migration to AWS, and that sets the stage for a move to SAP S4 HANA down the line without having any changes or making any huge changes at the ERP application layer. Now, migrating to SAP S4 HANA, if you have a clear business use case for SAP S4 HANA today, like driving a broader digital transformation, then this approach absolutely makes sense for you. The beauty here is that you can start innovation, modernization, transformation with AWS services, regardless whichever path you take. AWS, we never push our customers to make any application or database changes if they are not ready for it. We absolutely de-risk and simplify our customers' path to SAP HANA and SAP S4 HANA only on a timeline when that makes sense for their business need. Today, I want to share with you why more than 5,000 plus active SAP customers they choose AWS. So, very first of all, our experience and industry leadership. SAP as an unique application, and there is no compression algorithm for experience. Over this 13 years of journey supporting SAP and SAP customers, we have consistently seen that where AWS goes, the SAP on cloud market follows. We are into cloud industry 6 7 years longer than any other provider, and we also have the best cloud security that you can get anywhere else. Next is our customer obsessed approach to engage with our customers. We always give customers the maximum choices and flexibility to help them get the most out of their SAP investment. Cost optimization, it remains a key driver for our SAP customers. SAP on AWS customers, they consistently reduce their costs by 20 to 50% by running their SAP estate on AWS. Let's zoom out a bit and let's see. AWS is by far the broadest and deepest cloud platform with more than 200 plus services to innovate, modernize, and transform your business. And our cloud leadership is not just about the tools we provide. uh, it is about the end-to-end support what you get with AWS. We have the biggest global cloud footprint with the most performant infrastructure and greater reliability than any other cloud provider can offer. All right, let us see where we can position ourselves in the cloud industry. Very first of all, it's been over 15 years AWS has been delivering cloud services to millions of customers around the globe, running a wide variety of business use cases. And AWS has the most operational excellence, operational experience, maturity, reliability, and security than any cloud provider. AWS has the most extensive global cloud footprint. No other cloud provider offers as many regions with multiple availability zones that provides low latency, high throughput, and highly redundant networking. Currently, when I am recording this session, AWS has 84 availability zones within 26 geographic regions around the globe. Gartner recognized that the AWS region and the availability zone models as a recommended approach for running enterprise applications that require high availability. In AWS, we have 200 plus services and more features within those services than any other cloud hyperscalers can provide. From foundational infrastructure technologies like compute, storage, databases, to emerging technologies like machine learning and artificial intelligence, data lakes and analytics, and Internet of Things. Modernization that happens really faster, easier, and more cost effective way for your existing applications when you migrate them into AWS cloud and build nearly anything you can imagine. AWS infrastructure and services are architected to be the most flexible and secure cloud computing environment available today. Security is job zero here, and it is the highest priority in AWS. Our core infrastructure is built to satisfy the security requirements for the niche security services, military, global banks, and other high sensitivity organizations. This is backed by a deep set of security tools with 280 security, compliance, and governance services and features. From performance perspective, our new generation Amazon EC2 instances, they are powered by AWS Nitro systems, and that provides the best network attached storage performance available on Amazon EC2. And these new instances, they offer up to 60 Gbps EBS bandwidth and 260,000 IO operations per second. These new instances like M6, R6, X2IDN, X2IEDN, U type of high memory optimized and bare metal instances, they are there to serve your computation need. Till date, we have reduced pricing for our customers more than 100 times since the date of inception, since 2006. And AWS has the largest and most dynamic community with millions of active customers and tens of thousands of partners globally. The AWS Partner Network APN, it includes thousands of system integrators who specialize in AWS services and tens of thousands of independent software vendors, ISVs, who adopt this technology to work on AWS. AWS is a leader in cloud security. We are the only cloud provider who has had their offerings vetted and accepted as secure enough for top secret workloads. The AWS Nitro system, which is used for all of our latest generation Amazon EC2 instances, in addition to performance and flexibility benefits, Nitro basically helps you to strengthen your security posture by continuously monitoring, protecting, and verifying the instances, hardware, and firmware. virtualization of resources that are offloaded to the dedicated hardware and software, and that minimizes the attack surface. Finally, AWS Nitro Systems security model that is locked down and prohibits the administrative access. So that eliminates the possibility of human error and tampering. Our leadership in cloud security drove SAP to launch its NS2 HANA Secure Cloud product on AWS in 2013. Let's see the common migration drivers for our SAP customers. Now, AWS provides you the agility and the productivity. As AWS takes care of the infrastructure heavy lifting, the undifferentiated heavy lifting for the customers, that eliminates the overhead of managing infrastructure and deployment of software solutions, because that happens in ease on AWS. Our customers, they actually can concentrate, they focus on their actual core business functionalities, they focus on their operations and their differentiators. Innovation and digital transformations, there are so many customers who are on the way to transform their SAP ERP application to SAP S4 HANA. So customers, they leverage this migration effort to transform their SAP ECC to SAP S4 HANA as well. Cost reduction, it is one of the major and primary trigger for the migration. This cost reduction could be anywhere between 20 to 50 to 60% over of their overall on-premise IT TCO over a period of time. There are some other usual triggers as well, like data center consolidations, acquisitions, divestitures, etc., etc. So one point to note here, once customers, they migrate their SAP applications successfully into AWS and experience the return of investments out of it, migrating other non-SAP applications become very easy for them, as they earn the necessary confidence, skill set of cloud migration, and realize the benefits of it. So we can broadly classify the SAP migration approach into two categories: homogeneous migration and heterogeneous migration. So if the operating system and database remain same, then this is called homogeneous migration. Even a change in SAP version, like higher enhancement packages or patches, or operating system bit size change from 32-bit to 64-bit, they all fall under homogeneous migration category. If there is any change in operating system or database or both, then it would be defined as a heterogeneous migration category. And I will discuss few of the homogeneous and heterogeneous migration approaches in brief later during our session. So, SAP migration options. For homogeneous migration for NEDB databases, you can actually use the traditional backup and restore method. For SAP HANA, you can use SAP HANA's native tool, HSR, HANA System Replication, to replicate your database, your HANA database, from on-premise to cloud. You can also rely on other database specific methodology to replicate your data. And that depends on the database type you are using at your on-premise site at this moment. SAP's classical migration approach, which is R3 load and J load through SWPM, that is still very valid. And you also can use AWS Application Migration Service, or AWS MGN, to accomplish your lift and shift migration as well. We will discuss on AWS MGN and we'll discuss how it works. For heterogeneous migration from any DB to any DB, you can adopt SAP classical migration approach, which is R3 load or J load, or you also can leverage other third-party tools that can help you with the migration. If you are moving from any DB to SAP HANA, you can also use SAP Sum DMO with system move option to migrate to SAP HANA. But please note, irrespective of the SAP methodology you use here, you need to rely on AWS services like Amazon S3, simple storage services, AWS Storage Gateway, AWS Data Sync, AWS Snowball devices to move the data or export dumps from on-premises to AWS cloud environment. In addition to this, for transferring data from on-premises to AWS, you can also use certain services like AWS Direct Connect network, connections, or AWS site-to-site VPN connections. Homogeneous migration, option number one, or approach is one, full backup and restore method. So on the source side, you need to stop your SAP applications first. You need to take the backup of the database, and next task is to transfer that backup to AWS. So based on the size of the backup files, they can be copied over through AWS Direct Connect. For larger backup files, you can use AWS Storage Gateway, AWS Data Sync, or any other bandwidth optimized solutions. You can also use AWS Snowball, but you need to know that it would lead to a larger downtime of your SAP application if you are using any of the Snowball devices. This method can be used for SAP systems with a small or medium sized database footprint, or where your customers are absolutely okay with the downtime. Now let's look at the AWS services which play a key role here. AWS Direct Connect. AWS Direct Connect, it establishes a dedicated network connection from your customer premises to AWS. And using AWS Direct Connect, you establish a private connection between AWS and your data center or co-location environment. This can provide a more consistent network experience than internet based connections. You can scale AWS Direct Connect connection from 1 Gbps to 10 Gbps. You can add multiple Direct Connect connection together and make it up to 100 Gbps connection. As it is a private connection, data in transit through AWS Direct Connect is always secure, but it is not encrypted. So if you want to, or if you need your data to be encrypted in transit, you need to use additional VPN connection on top of AWS Direct Connect. So basically, there are a couple of setup in the Direct Connect location or co-location. Connection between AWS to AWS router at the colo site, and telco or partner provided router to the customer premises. And there is a cross connection between both the routers in the colo itself. So please note that AWS Direct Connect setup that takes several weeks up to months, because it's a physical fiber setup between your customer location to Direct Connect location and Direct Connect location to AWS. AWS Application Migration Service. This is a very high level architecture diagram, and it illustrates how AWS MGN can deliver a quick, reliable migration with minimal business disruption. So on the left side is your source environment, which can be composed of different types of SAP applications or databases. Uh, and implementation begins by installing the AWS replication agent on your source servers. And this does not require any reboot, or it does not impact your system's performance in any noticeable way. So once you have installed your agents, your AWS MGN agents, uh, you can view and define your replication settings uh, for your server on the AWS application migration service console. AWS MGN, it uses your replication settings to create the staging area subnet in your selected AWS region. A new, lightweight, low cost Amazon EC2 instance that get provisioned into that subnet, and that Amazon EC2 instance acts as a replication server. And you need to know that one replication server can handle multiple source servers replicating to it concurrently. Your replicated data is compressed and encrypted in transit, and can be encrypted at rest using EBS encryption. You can control the data replication path by using private connectivity options such as AWS Direct Connect or AWS site-to-site VPN. AWS MGN, it keeps your source servers up to date on AWS using continuous, asynchronous, block level data replication. And this enables replication of any application servers that runs on supported x86 based Windows and Linux based operating system. AWS MGN, it uses your defined launch settings to launch instances. When you conduct a non-disruptive migration tests or migration drills, or perform the actual cutover, your launch settings that determines where your instances will be launched and how they will be provisioned. So when you launch test or cutover instances, AWS MGN automatically converts your source servers to boot and run natively on AWS. and this entire conversion process that typically happens in minutes. Uh, for SAP HANA based systems, you can migrate the databases using uh, SAP HANA system replication. So you can quickly set up your SAP environment on HANA in AWS by using AWS Launch Wizard for SAP. And once you complete your deployment by using AWS Launch Wizard for SAP, this SAP HANA instance that can be set up as a target of HSR from the on-premise system. On the day of cutover, the on-premise system needs to be stopped and the final synchronization needs to complete. Then you need to perform a final failover to the AWS cloud-based SAP HANA system from on-premise. Once the failover is complete, SAP application servers need to be started and the system is ready to use. Now, heterogeneous migration, the option or the approach as a system copy by using SWPM. So when you are using SAP's SWPM tool, you can create exports from the source system by using SWPM or R3 load or JLoad. And this export that needs to be moved to AWS using the AWS services. And at the target side, you would use SWPM to import those software exports. This method is absolutely okay for small or medium sized databases where SAP export import processes fits with the downtime window. In some situation where your database needs to be changed from NEDB to SAP HANA, and you can use some DMO with system move options. Uh, so basically, when you are using some DMO with system move options, you can actually combine multiple steps together. You can combine like Unicode conversion, system upgrade, and also the migration when you are using SAP some DMO with system move option. You can use AWS services, even like AWS data sync, to ensure that the data is continuously copied from the source to target. And you can lean on to the parallel mode with which the data export and data import can be done in parallel, and that reduces the overall downtime. You need to make sure that SAP specific aspects need to be taken care, such as minimum support packages and patch levels. Migration of your mission critical SAP workloads are basically segmented in four different phases. They are assess, mobilize, migrate and modernize, and optimize phase. So during assess phase, basically you set up a discovery workshop. And as part of this project team, they prepare a detailed inventory of integrations, batch jobs, satellite systems that are part of this entire SAP system landscape. This phase, it also determines the versions of operating systems, databases, and SAP and non-SAP applications. This includes all compatibility, support, licensing, and compliance requirements. It also includes the technical requirements as the current and projected size of the database, or databases, network capacity, required compute performance, and high availability and disaster recovery requirements for your SAP applications. The mobilize phase, it focuses on refining and blueprinting your target SAP on AWS architecture. It supports the implementation of POC, your proof of concept projects, and also defines the migration tools and plans which will be leveraged during the migration phase. This phase builds the foundation for the migration process, and it also defines, it specifies a detailed non-functional requirements, SAP on AWS architecture, landing zone, details of the migration approach, and the refined migration plan. The migration phase, the migrate phase, it basically targets the mass system migration at scale, and it supports the infrastructure and SAP automation provisioning by using as infrastructure as code technologies such as AWS cloud formation. The project team, they automate the infrastructure infrastructure build and provisions the key AWS components in the cloud. You can taste and newly provisioned you can taste the newly provisioned systems, and also you started repointing, redirecting your interfaces to newly built systems on the cloud or new targets, while the project team is assisting in building the AWS infrastructure and resolving SAP related issues. The optimize phase, it covers continuous process improvements, and that is for your infrastructure, your application layer, and it also ensures that the security compliances are met. It focuses on operations that target future infrastructure automation, system fine tuning, and adhering to the AWS best practices. So, how AWS supports you here? AWS helps you throughout this entire cloud migration journey. Just to assure you here, from the leadership interlocks to having a SAP on AWS technical solution architects like me, AWS professional services, or strong system integrators like AWS Partner Network, or enablement team from upskilling and training and certification perspective, you will get dedicated resources assigned for your account. Assigned solutions architects, uh, they provide the right solution to solve your complex and critical business challenges, whereas professional services or partner teams, they deploy those solutions to in your account, and our account leadership team, they will always stand by, and they will solve and give any business support what you need. So with this, we have reached to the end of this presentation. We thank you very much for your valuable time, and hope this session is helpful and gives you an overview to migrate your on-premise SAP workloads on SUSE on AWS. Thank you very much.